back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 951. If you're joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you're crafting this morning. Let me know if you have questions for me, or just say hi. I will wait a few seconds for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. If you haven't joined me live before, the pre-chat opens up, I think 30 minutes before the broadcast, so you have the ability to chat with everyone else. Hi Val and Lisa. Good morning Grace and Lisa, Marilee, Kiranjit, Judy, Edna, Karen, Eve. Good morning and happy Friday everybody. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Hi Lisa, hi Carrie, hi Julie, hi Thea and Lily and Karen. Good morning. Hi Sean and Julie. Hi Marilee. Hi Joe. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great day so far. If you are crafting, let me know. Hi Barbara and G and Helen. Good morning. Looks like we've got a full house this morning. Very nice of you to all take time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. Hi Judy. We are at the beach today, live, and for those of you interested, I'm at the north end of parking lot 1 at Wiggins Pass Park. It's very significant here because each parking area has its own different beauty and features. Ella Niece, good morning. Hi Julie. I started a new project yesterday, which I had no business doing because I have lots of unfinished projects, but I did start something new. I got inspired by that video that I made with all the new curated color combinations in Be So Luxe. And by the way, something really weird happened with the video yesterday. So the music that you often hear in the intros and outros in my videos, and sometimes as a loop throughout the middle of my videos, is music that I bought for commercial use many years ago on a website called Premium Beats, and I am legally allowed to use it on my YouTube videos until yesterday. And I got a copyright violation notification from YouTube yesterday that I'm not allowed to use that music anymore. And I was like, why? I paid for it. I have the rights to use it. Anyway, they took it off the video yesterday, but unfortunately they didn't just strip the sound, they stripped the whole video. So if you tried to watch the video yesterday and it didn't work, I will re-upload it today and send it out, but I highly recommend watching it. If you're like me, you're going to be very inspired by the color combination. So I put together a total now of 28 color palettes, curated 28 combinations based on nature inspiration photos. If you want to see just the photos of it, you can find them on the Be So Luxe yarn page on my website. You can find them on the blog post that announced Be So Luxe yarn. So all 28 are available there, but I did put them in a really nice video so that you could watch them all without having to do anything. It's very nice and very inspirational, trust me, and I'll show you why in a minute. But yeah, you know, sometimes when big corporations give you trouble, sometimes it's easier to just find another solution instead of fighting it. YouTube is extremely difficult to communicate with on my end, and maybe it's because I think that supposedly there's like this difference between under 100,000 followers and above 100,000 subscribers or whatever. And I'm not there yet, so I don't have the kind of communication and customer support that supposedly I will get down the road. Anyway, I haven't had great luck in communicating with them about problems in the past. And because I've had the music for so long now, I'm not sure, I've had the music for over 10 years. I don't know if I'm going to be able to prove that I own it, sort of thing. And I just thought, this is a great opportunity to ask Marlon to custom make some music for my channel. So I figured until I I don't want to spend 20 hours on this to find out that I'm just a little guy and nobody cares. I don't want to spend 20 hours on that when instead I can ask Marlon to make some music for me so I can promote his business and just get back to work. And that's what I did yesterday. So instead of fighting something that I would have probably lost anyway, I took the time to pick one of those color combinations and start a shawl yesterday. And I can't wait to show it to you. So, and if I can figure out how to retroactively add his music to older videos, it'll be even more exposure for him. So as long as he's willing to do it, I feel like this is absolutely a lemons to lemonade. And again, I just don't like spending time on things that I think I have a high chance of being unsuccessful at resolving. And maybe I could have resolved it, but honestly, back when I bought the music, Marlon wasn't making music. I would have never bought music if I had the opportunity to promote his talents instead. So I feel like this is a wonderful opportunity in a roundabout way. So we can look forward to some Marlon music soon. Aren't you guys so excited to see what he comes up with? I asked him to come up with a couple of things so that I can, have a little bit of, give him a little bit of feedback and pick something that I think fits my brand or the message that I want to give out. But he knows me well enough that he probably knows what that is. And it was so stressful yesterday, and then when I came up with this idea, it immediately went from stressful to exciting. Like, that's a big jump across the spectrum of emotions, don't you think? Yeah, so I see you guys are excited too. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, way more fun to have Marlon do the music. And then I can link to his YouTube channel in the video description, say music provided by, like, oh, so exciting. So anyway, so that video will come back out today without the music, but so what? Forget that music. So I'll re-upload the video without music today, and I think you're going to love it. It's only 3 minutes long. It won't take you long to watch it, but wait till you see all the combinations. Like, oh my gosh, I had a really hard time picking 5 colors yesterday. But remember the fingerless mitts that I released recently that had the embossed flower in the surface of the fabric? I thought that was a very interesting stitch pattern to convert into a top-down increasing triangular shawl, which can then be converted into raglan shaping if you wanted to make a cardigan or a pullover as well. But I wanted to do a top-down triangle shawl first, so I spent a really long time working on the chart, but that's okay because it's fabulous. It's perfect right now. And so now that I have the chart, I'm writing the pattern as I crochet from the chart, so I will have a pattern when it's all done. But the first thing I had to do was pick one of those 28 color combinations to make the shawl. And so wait till you see the combination I chose. It's a little different, but gorgeous. I just love it. So here it is. I started with Hello Gorgeous, this bright hot pink. Then I went on to this Follow the Yellow Brick Road, gold, yellow gold. Then this light silver called Foggy Morning. Then it will be Aurora Splendor and Sugar Plum Fairy. Isn't that let me get up close. Isn't that a gorgeous combination? And what I love about these combinations that I've curated with nature-inspired photos is that they aren't tonal. They aren't just going with a color family. They are picking some contrasts that you may or may not have thought to put together on your own. And so this one was based on a photo that I used, and you can see it in all of those when you see the video, or you can go see it on the yarn page now. But isn't that gorgeous? Like, I wouldn't have come up with this on my own. So this is Hello Gorgeous, Follow the Yellow Brick Road, Foggy Morning, Aurora Splendor, and Sugar Plum Fairy. I mean, the names are pretty awesome as well. I still said I was going to teach how I came up with these names. I will in a blog post. Speaking of blog posts, if anybody is interested in more of the domestic violence awareness and Project Kristin Cares posts, I did share another story this week called The Collateral Damage of Domestic Violence. and it's a true story of an experience that I had with collateral damage as the aspect of domestic violence. It's an interesting story. It's a true story, and it's an interesting aspect to domestic violence. So if you're interested in it, you can read that on my blog. I released it this week. But again, I'll read this one more time, or say this one is Hello Gorgeous, Follow the Yellow Brick Road, Foggy Morning, Aurora Splendor, and Sugar Plum Fairy. Okay, is anybody ready to see the shawl? I have the first two colors done, and I'm sending in the third color now. And it will end up having more than one stripe of each color, I would imagine, but you know, still in progress. So I'm doing each color with one repeat of the flowers. This is not blocked, it's not washed, so the flowers are not quite sitting as open and flat as they will eventually. But there's a couple of really cool things that I did here. Can you see the row in between the two colors? It's the solid double crochet row between the flower petal pattern. And so what I'm doing is alternating the older color with the newer color on that row. And that's what's going to give us really soft color changes in between all the colors, which I thought was going to be especially cool since these are high contrast colors. I think that row is going to do a lot of aesthetic beauty to this project. So I'm headed into the third color now, and as you can see, it changed color on this row as well. So then I'll do a whole repeat in the Foggy Morning and then alternate colors again and then start on the fourth color. So really pretty, isn't that going to be gorgeous? And then I'll come up with some outrageously gorgeous edging to tie it all together. I really liked how I brought back the stripes into an elaborate color work and elaborate edging on the Hadley shawl. So I may end up doing something like that on here. Have not decided yet, but I thought you'd be really excited to see this and to see these unusual yet gorgeous colors together. Like, honestly, I would never have picked Hello Gorgeous with Yellow Brick Road and Foggy Morning. But I do believe that once you add the Aurora Splendor and the Sugar Plum Fairy, it just brings it all together. It's so bright, it's so vibrant, it's so cheerful. And thank you, Mother Nature. I wouldn't have picked it on my own. So once again, Mother Nature is the #1 artist ever. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? Obviously, this isn't a published pattern yet. I'm showing you behind the scenes. I do not know if it'll be 1 ball each of all 5 colors or if it'll dip into 2 balls. I don't have that information yet. All I have is a chart, and I'm working on it as I go, but it will be a top-down shawl. And like I've said many times before, you could use this to do a cardigan or a raglan shaped pullover as well, because those double increases from the center of the shawl you can apply that if you're inclined to do that on your own. Yeah, I guess I could get more shells. The seashells have really gone down. I don't know if other people picked them up or if the sea took them back, but there isn't a big pile here. How do you know what order to put the colors in? I think that that's personal preference, Faye, but that is a great question, and I'll lift them up again. I chose to go, I thought that this is more like rainbow spectrum or the spectrum of colors in a prism. So I started with the red. So if you think in terms of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, I started with the red, which is pink, but you know what I mean. Then yellow, which is gold, but still in that part of the spectrum of a prism. And then I thought that the gray was a buffer between the gold and the purples, and I do feel like the gray almost feels like a segue into purples. Like those three almost feel like a color family on their own. So I chose to go in spectrum of like prism or rainbow. Although I don't think there's a wrong way to do that. So let's try mixing them up. I think that, gosh, here's 3. If you just wanted to do 3 colors, these are cool too. This is Hello Gorgeous, Sugar Plum Fairy, and Follow the Yellow Brick Road. But let's just switch it up. That's pretty too. That's pretty too. That's pretty. How about if we alternated the 3 bright colors with the two softer colors even, where we could, hold on, it's hard to lift these up and get them all in a line. See, this is alternating the colors, so all three of the brights alternated between two of the softest colors. I think that's pretty too, but for me, I think my go-to is always sticking with Prism or Rainbow or Roy G. Biv. I think that it's an easy trick. If you don't know what order to put your yarns in, or any color combinations in, I think the easiest option is to go with Prism or Rainbow Spectrum. You know, and it's trial and error, Faye. It's a great question, and there is no like straight answer. It's based on which colors and how they evoke emotion in you. Color is something that evokes emotion in all of us, and you know how you react to it could be different than how I react to it, and there's no wrong way to do that. So it is part of you as an artist sharing your creativity and putting your spin on a project to not only pick the colors, but then pick the sequence of the colors. But whenever I'm in doubt, I go with Roy G. Biv, and I feel like it works almost all of the time to put colors in the spectrum of a Prism. That's one of my tricks. But again, there's lots of other ways to do things too. You know what else? Just do it alphabetically. Try alphabetically and see what happens. Let's see, can we do that? Hello, gorgeous, FGH. So Foggy Morning would come first. Follow the Yellow Brick Road. It would come after Foggy Morning, okay. Aurora Splendor would come first. And then Sugar Plum Fairy would come last. So even if you just want, there's alphabetical. I think that looks pretty too, right? Very pretty. And then that's just one step away from the way I did it in Rainbow Spectrum. But all these different ways, I'm sure that each and every one of you, no matter how many ways I combine them, each and every one of you is going to have picked one of those that speaks to you more than the others. And that's the other thing. You could sit and set them out in different sequences, even set them out in a sequence, take a photo on your phone, set them out in a different sequence, take another photo on your phone, and do as many combinations as you want, picking alphabetical, Prism, and whatever random combinations you want to do, and then looking at all those pictures. Oh, thank you, Faye. Oh my goodness. This is so nice. Thank you. So however, look at all those photos then, and I am certain that one will stand out to you from the others. So that's another great way to do it. Great questions, guys, and I had answers for them. Yay, even better. Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. That was so generous and nice, Faye, and it means so much. Yeah, let's get the party started. That's great. Yeah, I'm excited to see the finished piece too, Helen. It's going to be so fun. And I still have lots of other projects that are in progress, new things coming. Geraldine, sometimes she changes her mind about colors mid-project. Well, that's a different problem altogether, right? Because at that point, you could choose to change the color order, or you may want to back everything out and start over. You know, there's different ways to handle that as well. Or to tell yourself, yes, I agree, and I'll do that next time. There's always a reason to remake something too. If it brought you joy to make something, or you want it in a different color or a different color combination, always a good idea to remake the same pattern again too. All right, so you guys want to see the beach? So like I said, I'm at parking area 1, which means my view is of these two beauties. You know how much I love these two sweet, beautiful cypress trees. I love these trees so much. And then here's the beach to the north of me. Pretty quiet here today. And here is the beach to the south of me, also pretty quiet today. I don't know why it's quiet today, but I'll take it. I am going to stay and do yoga today at the beach. If anybody wants to join me, we could always end the broadcast and I could go live again for beach yoga if you want to join me. but I don't have to either. I could just keep it to myself, but I will leave it open. If anybody wants to join me, I could go live again. I just won't talk much during that. But if you want to see what I'm going to do for yoga, just let me know and I could possibly go live again for that. Otherwise, oh, thanks, Karen. Yeah, I'm wearing one of my denim shirts. This is a Tencel denim shirt, which means it's that much softer, drapier fabric. And somebody asked if I got this on Amazon recently, and I did not. This is a very, very old shirt from Chico's, but I did find something similar on Amazon that is Tencel denim, and so I did pop that one in my Amazon shop. For anybody that wants this style of shirt, I found something similar there. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, and yeah, and yes or no to beach yoga, it's fine. If you don't want to join me, it's fine, totally fine. But I am going to stay and do some yoga today. This is my favorite place to do yoga. Hi, Sandra. Does anybody have any questions about anything we talked about so far also? I'm also wearing the Kelly earrings today. These ones are made with a little bit of Be So Fine bling yarn, but you could do it in Be So Fine tidbits as well. So Be So Fine bling tidbits and Be So Fine tidbits are both available in my yarn shop, on my website, and you can find different colors of both of them. It takes only one tidbit to make the pair of earrings. They're called the Kelly earrings, and they are a pattern on my website also. All right, I saw a couple of yeses to yoga. I won't do it as part of the broadcast because I know some people would prefer for this to stay, stay in its own thing. So we could always end this one and continue on, or I guess continue on, I don't know. Thank you, Anna. Yes, I have lost weight. I've lost about 15 pounds total so far, but I'm also eating very much an anti-inflammatory diet. So I've not only lost weight, but I think I've lost a lot of inflammation as well, which is probably what's making my face look thinner. But thank you for noticing and mentioning it. I appreciate it. I feel better. Karen, you would watch the yoga daily. Now that's interesting. Maybe that could make me more accountable to doing it too if we did yoga on the beach after the show. Oh, that's awesome, Sandra. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, losing weight is difficult, and changing your lifestyle is difficult too. But I think the key is moderation still, even when you change things. I do think it's important to not say, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again. I'm going to make healthy choices 80 to 90% of the time, and then I will indulge after that. So I think that that's a healthier way to look at it, so you don't freak out that you're never doing something again. Okay, I see a lot of people saying they'd do yoga if I did it more often. See, this is when it gets to be a bit of a pain when you're a human being with emotions. It takes, every once in a while I'll get, a bunch of flack because I, showed too much cleavage or and so if I get too many negative comments trying to do something different than just yarn, it makes me question if I shouldn't be doing it at all. But I see a lot of you would be interested in yoga, so sure. Now I will be in a sports bra and leggings. But again, it's just I'm a human being and I have emotions. Occasionally things get to me, but overall, most things don't get to me. I am usually a mostly focused and determined person. But occasionally. Thanks, Lori. Okay, so right after this show, we'll go live again, and I'll just call it Yoga on the Beach or something like that. And we'll go from there. And just simple stuff. Indigo's been here since episode 100. Wonderful. All right, so any of you that weren't there yesterday at the episode 950, I did send out an invitation yesterday for you to share your story about what this show has meant to you. And what I'd like everyone to do is fill out a form on my website sharing with me and everyone else what the show has meant to you. And on the 1000th episode, I'm going to read each and every one of those stories. And it's going to be amazing so that we can hear how it's affected everyone else. I've heard so many amazing stories so far. You're going to love hearing all of them. You're going to probably need Kleenex. I know I will too, but it's going to be an amazing, amazing program, amazing show, the 1000th episode, and I will be sharing everybody's stories about how the show has affected them or changed their lives. So many people have had positive changes in their lives since joining my show, and whether you've been here since episode 1 or you've been here for 1 episode, like there's so many amazing stories, and it's not just because of me, it's because of all of you, because I would not do this every day if it wasn't for you. So really, round of applause to you, pat on the back to you. We've done this together, and I want to celebrate all of you on the 1000th episode. So whether you choose to share your story or not, it's okay. There's no pressure here. You will enjoy hearing everybody else's stories regardless of whether you feel comfortable sharing. But if you feel comfortable sharing, I will definitely share your story as well. We can talk about an anti-inflammatory diet another day, definitely. And if you want to Google it, you can find so many things about it. Basically, it's reducing meat, dairy, alcohol, salts, a lot of things like that, the fun stuff. and eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. Mostly, but not all, and there's more to it, and you can read more about it if you want to Google anti-inflammatory diet. Yes, great point, Judy. If you are uncomfortable with me sharing your name when I share your story, when you fill out the form, there is a place to fill out your name and email address in case I need to contact you for anything, for any reason. I might need to get, I don't know, but you can definitely share in there. Do not share my name. Like people have said, it's me, said their name, but then in parentheses said, keep it anonymous, don't share my name. So if that makes you feel more comfortable for sharing to have your name removed, that's totally fine too. And that might make some people feel a lot more comfortable with sharing. So lots of ways to do this. And again, no pressure. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Wow, another great question. Does anybody else have any questions before we finish up? Oh, that's great, Indigo Dragonfire. Finer Edge is a good one. I mean, I'm proud of all my books, but it is a good resource book. There isn't a deadline, Barbara, except in the respect that, if someone's going to share their story the morning of the 1000th episode, no, there would be no way for me to add it to everything that I'm planning on doing for that day. I suppose I can come up with a last minute deadline the week of. I feel like within a week, within a couple days or a week of the actual episode, and we're 49 episodes away, so at 5 episodes a week, we're roughly 9.5 weeks away, so there's plenty of time still. Don't feel like you need to rush out and do it today. I know some people would prefer to have some time to reflect and write, so there is plenty of time. Now, this depends on whether you're somebody that does things right away or procrastinates. A deadline's important for people that procrastinate, and being told that there's no rush is good for people that are always rushing. So, do what works best for you. There is plenty of time, but it is open right now if you want to do it now, and there is time if you want to wait as well. So I hope that makes sense. But once we get closer to the end, there will be a deadline because I have to do some things to get everything ready. I hope that makes sense. But it won't be a ton of time. It'll probably be like somewhere between 3 and 7 days from the actual event. But wonderful question nonetheless. Thank you. And without knowing what that date is yet, it was kind of hard for me to put a deadline on it at this point. But once we get closer, I'll have a better idea of what the actual date is of the 1000th episode, and then we'll go from there. but it's going to be amazing, and we're going to have so much fun, and I think you guys are going to love it. And so it's definitely going to go past 30 minutes that day, and that's fine too. Who knows how long it'll take to read everybody's stories. That's wonderful, Indigo. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so glad you're here. All right, well, that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the beach, the sound of the waves, my show and tells, chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody. If you want to join me from yoga, I'll be going live again in a minute or two. And if you don't, totally fine. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you Monday for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show.